and welcome to another episode of The Smut Club, the podcast where smut is better with friends. Well, we don't have any additional friends, just the two OG
just two
friends.
Two friends. We do have a Charlie. She counts for something.
And she's perching. Okay,
have you ever seen her sit like that?
So let me describe this portrait for you. So we're at my house. We're at Katie's house today.
This is a golden doodle.
I have a golden doodle, and she's perfect in every way.
She's never done a single thing
We
wrong.
are eating popcorn and M&Ms. Mm-hmm. And she has found the tiniest corner of the couch next to Anna where she has perched herself like a cat.
Like a cat or a parrot.
A parrot, yes.
And her long floofy tail just
like, she wants nothing more than to be in between two people.
Yeah.
And so we have snacks in between us right now, so there's no room for a Charlie.
So sweet. Yeah, we have replaced her with snacks.
Yes.
Can't blame us.
Well,
yo, welcome.
It's been a week since Tortured Poets Department's been out.
Yes, and full transparency.
We're in the time machine.
Through the magic of the internet, we are recording this before Tortured Poets comes out. And so our future selves, when this comes out, we will know so much.
We're going to know so much more.
So much more is going to be revealed to us. It's going to be clear.
We'll have more things to say about Joe Allen.
For better or for worse.
Yes,
this is going to be fascinating. Definitely for worse. We just recorded the short and spicy and did a breakdown. If y'all are curious, if we have any Swifties or any Swiftie curious who would like to go through and listen to the previous episode.
If your identity is Swiftie curious,
if
we got a podcast for you.
If you identify as Swiftie curious, you're in the right place. We are affirming of all identities, especially the Swifties among us.
That's true.
So we unpack our predictions for the Tortured Poets set list.
Yeah, if y'all haven't figured out, we record episodes back to back. So
yes.
Sometimes by the time we get to like actually recording like the book episode, we are delirious because we've been doing it for a while.
Delulu.
Yeah, which is a
gift to our listeners.
Yeah, it makes for some unique content.
It truly does. It truly does. Yeah, we only bring the best to y'all.
That's right.
But this week, we are reviewing an adorable book that we have some mixed reviews on, which is so fun. I love whenever we have a little bit of a different perspective from one another.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like I liked the book. I gave it 4 stars,
Incredible.
which is on our shared Goodreads, but you can change it if you want.
No. This is great.
This plot is so good. I ate it up. I love these characters. My critique is that I just was wanting more spice in it.
Yeah.
That is what I'm here for.
It's so interesting because that you've never made that critique for a book before. We've never.
It's a brand new take for me.
It is a hot take. It's never come up.
Yeah.
So I find it shocking out of the blue. It must be the eclipse.
Yeah, that's right.
It's brought out something really different in you.
Look, I am who I am. I'm a slut, okay? Like
we are all here for the same reason, and it is for the magic of smut. And yeah, this one did not have this was definitely more on the romance end of things.
Definitely on the romance side. But also it did have a lot of like we use the word smut to describe a lot of different things. So like the way like I saw a video this morning of Lupito Nyong'o was like with one of her co-stars, and like they were taking photos, and her spaghetti strap like slid down. Ooh. And without even looking, he just like fixed it.
Oh,
and so like things like that where we're like we describe that as like that is smut, like that is female gazy, smutty as hell.
Truly.
And so there's a lot of that stuff in this book where like things that I would definitely describe as smut that's not actually like a sex scene.
Ooh, great take. Yeah, that's exactly the energy. It is very God, it's just sometimes that really hits the spot for me. Is just the buildup of it all, the slow burn of it all. And this book, if that is your vibe, then you're in the right place.
If you love buildup, that is this book. The whole book is basically like buildup.
It is.
It was like
Grumpy Sunshine.
Yeah, Grumpy Sunshine, and enemies to lovers, and then like just. It's foreplay, and then there is a very, very long sex scene. It's super long. It's just not very descriptive, and we'll talk about.
It's much more romantic. Yeah, we'll break that down. But so yes, for those who are really looking, and I'm thinking of so many books that we reviewed that are far more explicit, like definitely about the smut.
Like the writer is known for writing smut.
Like filthy, dirty smut with gorgeous descriptions. Like that is not this, but it still is very long and descriptive.
Yes,
just
it was
not
beautiful,
explicitly descriptive.
Exactly. It's descriptive but not explicit.
Which some people, that is a far better fit for, which I respect. I don't know that it's all of our listeners, but
oh yeah, there are people that and I think Anna is one of them who she likes to use her imagination.
Yeah, I think it. I don't know.
Like both.
I like both, but I think it really. I don't know. There's some witchcraft of like characters that I really enjoy that my imagination can run wild. Like the tension does it for me.
I wonder if some of this is like it's developmental. Like you used your imagination a lot as a kid.
That's a great point.
Like you had to use your imagination for a lot of stuff, and
I was far more.
You just developed a really like
that's so
expressive
true.
imagination.
Yeah, and maybe some neurospice too, but just a very. Yeah, I'm used to not having things spelled out to me. I've had to fill in the blanks.
Figuring things out for her. Blindly wandering.
We're laughing because like, if y'all only knew.
If you don't laugh, it's scary.
You don't laugh, yeah. But no, I really, I read a lot. My books were heavily filtered.
Little Women. You know.
A lot of historical fiction. But yeah, I filled in a lot of blanks and I had a lot of time to imagine things. And so maybe that is why it doesn't bother me as much when I have to fill in the blanks. When something is short and closed door, that pisses me the hell off because that's taunting, that's teasing.
Yes.
I don't, not the fun
We don't want to
kind.
use our imagination in that way.
Yeah, but having some like room for exploration and imagination is fun for me. But yeah, we will get into the thick of that in just a moment. Here we have the synopses.
The synopsis.
On the synopsi?
Ooh, a single synopsis?
Synopsis
I think
is
synopses,
singular.
Yeah.
So synopses would be plural?
If you're going by the Latin, then yes. I just made that up. Can you see how I just bullshit about stuff and I act like that is one of my talents.
I'm really good at it too. Bullshitting about. Feeling pretty confident
saying something confidently that I don't know if it's true or not. If you go by the Latin.
Sure.
Who wouldn't know that? The
Greek.
Latin.
Duh. I've watched the National Spelling Bee. Like, sure, I confidently believe this. Those of you who are well versed in dead languages, let us know. But the synopsis. So we start here with the definition. Webster's Dictionary defines.
Stop.
Okay.
That is like every high schooler's
essay.
5-paragraph essay.
You've gotta. But yes, this is on Goodreads. This is from the publisher, and I will read it in my breathy reading voice.
That's right.
Nemesis, noun. 1. An opponent or rival whom a person cannot best or overcome. 2. A person's undoing.
A person's undoing?
Yeah. Joshua Templeman.
3. Joshua, yeah.
Lucy Hutton and Joshua Templeman hate each other. Period.
Do they? Not
dislike. Period. Not begrudgingly tolerate.
I hate Josh forever.
Forever. Not begrudgingly tolerate hate. And they have no problem displaying their feelings through a series of ritualistic passive-aggressive maneuvers as they sit across from each other, executive assistants to CEOs typing. Of a publishing company. This is my
dream. I can aggressively type
my God.
My ass off.
I set my phone down so I can cradle my head at just the hilarity of the frustration, the banter, the hatred. And I think it's the opening phrase in the book where they say, hate is awfully close to love.
Yeah.
Like, it feels very similar.
It feels the same way.
Yeah, and they really do be hating each other in this book. And it is the passive aggression, the passy-aggressy.
The passy-aggressy.
It is strong between them. Lucy can't understand Joshua's joyless, uptight, meticulous approach to his job. I can't either, actually.
No, I can.
You can. You. Mm-hmm.
I'm meticulous and uptight.
So I'm a fun combination of. Well, what would you say? I find that others understand me sometimes better than I understand myself because you observe me. I just live within me.
Well, I think the big difference between you and me is that I am extremely detail oriented and you are not. You're very big picture.
I can't.
Like, which is great because I can't think big. Like, my brain just doesn't do that. I cannot think big picture. And so I'm like, how are we going to get there? Details.
But it is so important. It is so helpful. And so I have started really tapping into this strength in others who are able to do the linear details whenever I bring a big picture. Because the big picture, I don't see the details where things can go wrong. Mm-hmm. And so I just see the beautiful big picture. And I'm like, this is incredible. We'll get there somehow.
But it works really well because, like, you're very imaginative, very creative, and it's like, what if this is what we want. This is our goal. And I'm like, okay, so realistically, how are we going to get there? We have to this has to come first. No, but it's so great. Like, that's how this podcast started.
Y'all, it really is how this podcast has stayed. We hit our 1 year anniversary. We didn't cover this in the short and spicy.
We didn't.
But yes, we should hit our 1 year Annie.
Yes.
Was it this week? Sometime this week?
It was earlier this week. I got a notification from the podcast app that we use to
so
record.
So fun. So we've been doing this for 1 year, and the reason that we are able to do this for a year is because Katie Bird is able to do the details.
Oh, the reason we even have it in the first place was because Anna was like, I think we should start a podcast about this because, like, we love to read this stuff and we talk about it. We might as well just hit record.
And
I was
other
like,
people can enjoy this.
Yeah.
And we can all enjoy it together.
Yes. And I was like, great, let's do it.
Hey, different brains work different ways.
Anna's the brains behind the operation. I just execute the idea.
I think anyone who is a big picture thinker, though, can identify with, like, I have lots of big picture ideas that never come to fruition because there's nobody like a Joshua Templeman actually making jack shit happen.
Aggressively typing.
Yes, seriously. So, yes, this was adorable to hear about, Lucy is also, she gets a lot done in this book. She's very, but she's definitely more of an artist.
She's very, I mean, she's like every
Victorian literature was her degree.
She's every female main character. She's a literary major.
Yeah. She's a.
I mean, this is like
she's an Elizabeth.
If I was going to be a character in a book, like that's who I would want to be, like someone who majored in English or majored in like romantic literature.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is a female main character written by a woman.
Yes.
And just adorable. But Joshua is joyless, uptight, and meticulous. And she just can't.
I'm not joyless.
She can't No, you're not joyless. You do it with panache and pizzazz.
I do.
You do it with disco balls.
That's exactly right. As a personality hire, I do everything with pizzazz.
Yes.
What if we put sparkles on it?
You bounce in to your job, holding up public education on your shoulders.
Pigtails.
Yes, with pigtails bouncing. Special curls.
Special curls.
Just thriving. Yes, very good. Okay, Joshua is clearly baffled by Lucy's overly bright clothes, quirkiness, and Pollyanna attitude.
Some Anna energy.
Really, some Anna energy. Strawberry Farm.
That was precious. I wanted to go to the strawberry farm. We never got to go.
I know. I kept waiting for, like...
He wanted to go so bad.
That was so tender. That was so beautiful. Now, up for the same promotion, their battle of wills has come to a head, and Lucy refuses to back down when their latest game could cost her her dream job. But the tension between Lucy and Joshua has also reached its boiling point. Nobody saw that coming.
Yeah, couldn't have predicted
the surprise of the century. Wow, a shocker. And Lucy is discovering that maybe she doesn't hate Joshua.
What?
And maybe he doesn't hate her either. Or maybe this is just another game.
The or something game.
I ate it up. I ate it up with a spoon. I make no apologies.
So fucking sweet.
It is.
Candy sweet.
So for those who have read this or who have downloaded it, and I'm about to read your review. But for those of you who have read this on Kindle, you will know that the cover of the book is the movie poster.
Oh my gosh. I like when I'm inevitably post content for this, I might have to I don't know. It's so ugly.
It is a problem.
I know anybody who's any book girly knows that movie covers on artistic literature, stop doing that. Stop it. It's so ugly. I mean, and the cover is so cute.
The only caveat, the only exception would maybe be Allender. Because
if you put Jamie Fraser on the cover, sure.
Fucking Fraser. I can handle that.
What's that guy's name?
If you wouldn't have said it.
Sorry.
My brain, unfortunately, just said Ewan McGregor. Don't know why. I'm
Same
Scottish.
energy. Same energy.
But like 20 years ago. No. Oh, I'm so sorry. All my Outlander girlies. I know you're screaming it at me. I hear you. I accept it. Fill in the blank. There, you said his name. Thank you. Appreciate y'all. So, but yes, it is the worst because this cover is super cute. Cartoon cover, super precious. It looks so fun.
The movie cover
is egregious.
Horrifying.
But so what I did is I read the book, was transfixed, absolutely scratched my brain just right, filled my heart and soul, smiling, giggling, kicking my feet. It just, for whatever reason, I loved it.
Because we haven't exactly loved the last couple books that we've read. Well, I mean, Iron Flame's a little different story, but like...
Well, for a lot of reasons.
It's like yours truly, and yeah.
But
so
like,
we've been in a little bit of slump.
To actually enjoy, and like, I want to read this. Yeah. It brought me a lot of joy. It was so fun. But then I was like, okay, well, I have like a chill day. I'm going to turn on The Hating Game, the movie. Like, I bet this will be super cute. Mm-hmm. In some ways, not terrible. In some ways, super cute. In most ways, for me,
egregious.
Horrible.
Like, I think...
Please read the book.
The book is so
Maybe
good.
Watch the movie if you want. But...
I'm trying to imagine, like, this movie existing outside of the book. Like, if this were just, like, any kind of romantic
I don't think that this
comedy.
would ever work as just a standalone movie. Like, the only reason...
You have to have read the book to appreciate anything about the movie.
The movie, and they adapted the very things that would have made it work, I think.
Yeah, well, and, like, major plot points were just completely changed. And, like, I'm so sorry. I'm not an actor, and so I can't... Like, I don't know what goes into it, but that male actor was horrible. He was hot, super hot.
Every time he opened his mouth.
His line delivery was terrible.
I am not a movie critic. I'm not. I'm a filthy literature critic.
I watch the dumbest shit as a movie and enjoy it.
I am not a highbrow movie person. This was shockingly bad.
Like,
she was great.
Lucy Hale she's an actress. She's done, Pretty Little Liars.
She was super cute. Yeah,
I was a big PLL fan.
But wow.
His line delivery was just so... Like, there was one that I almost, like, started laughing. I don't normally laugh at line deliveries, but this... So, like, he's picked her up, and she's very little. He picked her up. They're kissing outside of his apartment. She makes a little sound, and he goes, oh. And then, like, in the most monotone voice I've ever heard, that sound you just made. I was like, what the fuck was that?
My God. I was feral for the fictional Joshua Templeman.
100%.
Adore. Charlie was too, apparently. Absolutely
delicious.
He could say anything, do anything, and I was hanging on the fictional one's every word.
Oh yeah,
absolutely in love with him. But wow, the actor, that was painful. I felt betrayed a little bit. So I had to, and this is maybe the first that I've really done this. You do this frequently because you have so many more brain cells than I do, really. But you will reread before we record. I know shit. The past couple days have been rereading.
You have?
I've been playing it again. I mean, chapter is it 23, 24, 25, or this is the sex scene? And because I wanted to like get updated again. Yeah. I'm like, okay, no, this is why I love this. This is why I love these characters. Like, this is great. So, yeah, the movie, listeners, tread lightly.
Yeah.
Maybe don't do it.
Watch at your own risk.
Yeah. Okay, super cute review that Katie Bird has posted for us.
Not 5 minutes ago.
The fact that you could just whip this up, we love to see it. Okay, I've got to read it in a breathy voice.
Yep.
The Hating Game by Sally Thorne is an enemies to lovers workplace romance throwing readers into the whimsical world of literary publishing that merges with the sharp blacks and whites of financial corporations. I've never been in love with somebody I worked with.
It sounds hot.
So fucking hot.
When she pushes them into that supply closet, I was like,
oh, I take that back. Whenever I worked at camp.
Camp romance.
I had a camp romance.
Yes.
That was super dreamy. That was really fun.
That
sweet. Made work really fun. Yeah. That made being a camp counselor with...
We have found a way to make work fun.
Why didn't I talk about that on our wildfire episode?
I don't know.
Wow, I have buried that. Once we
had a whole episode about it.
Yes, we literally did. Where was my brain? Wow, I guess I suppressed that. It was a joyful thing I don't know why it's buried in my brain, but I will, once we stop recording, I'll tell you more. It was really fun.
Oh my gosh.
I'll show you pictures.
I can't wait. Our nail techs will be very thrilled to hear that story.
Nail techs, yes. They will. Our poor nail techs, really. But, yes.
They know so much gossip.
I'm sure they have nicknames for us.
I'm sure they do.
I respect them so much for putting up with us. But workplace romance, if any of our listeners have had a workplace romance and they'd like to chime in, it sounds...
Sword Girl.
Sword Girl!
That was a workplace romance.
It went really well. He was really hot. He was a great lay.
He was really hot, really good in bed, fucking crazy.
Definitely some swords.
Swords, dragons, like...
Not safe. What did she say? Some red flags.
There was like... She was like...
We're gonna butcher this, sorry.
Yeah, I know. I wish I could pull the email up. Well, she said that... Oh, the red flag was that he lived super close, but didn't ever invite her over to his house. They always went to her place. And then it was like, oh... This is like, you have a dragon knife block.
Red flags. But I mean, that's the beauty of a workplace romance is you see somebody, I can see you. Yeah, like she's, like Taylor Swift covers it. Like, it's just so hot. Like it's a workplace romance where you know them in that context and it's forbidden and it's just so fucking dreamy. So I think for Lucinda and Joshua to fall in love in the workplace, especially with their desks facing each other, like there was just
was like one of the things I did like about the movie was the like her side of the office and his side of the office. Like his was very corporate, flat, straight lines, black, white. Hers was like bookshelves and Smurfs and polka dots and like warm colors.
So fun.
Like the desk was that I really enjoyed seeing that, like the visual of it.
The grumpy sunshine.
Yeah.
The tropes abounded. This is why we come to fiction.
That's right.
We don't want this to be realistic, but y'all, if you've ever, please send us more workplace romance stories. Hopefully where there's no like weird power dynamic where anyone's unsafe, but
yes, as long just
peers.
2 consenting adults is what we
2 consenting
bare minimum is actually.
Actually, that's the bar's on the floor.
The bar's on the floor. I'm eating popcorn, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, our listeners are also eating popcorn because they live for this. Lucinda and Joshua, or Lucy and Josh when we're feeling spicy. You're so dumb.
She just insulted my writing.
Those are their nicknames. Great job. Absolutely despise each other. Or so it would seem. Joshua is the textbook anti-nice guy. He's harsh, direct, loath to sugarcoat anything. Loath,
yeah.
Yeah, loath to sugarcoat anything while wearing the same shirts in the same sequential order each week. That was cute. And then when she asked him about it.
Off-white, cream, mustard.
Robin's egg blue, window pane blue. Oh my God, that was so dreamy. And then when she asked him about it, he was like, I was just doing it in case you noticed.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if you noticed.
Yeah, she noticed.
Oh.
Lucy is our dreamy, manic pixie dream girl, female main character. She adores literature, dresses like a sexy librarian, and has a particular talent for driving Josh absolutely insane. That was fun.
Yeah.
We're Lucy.
Yes. Demon emoji.
Demon emoji. Absolutely. It's a strength, okay? These 2 executive assistants bicker and banter in the way all romance readers love. Yes, the banter was
so good.
And I think that's why it was so heartbreaking that the actors
because
did not have
the
chemistry.
banter is to die for, and yeah, there was 0 chemistry.
This banter is hysterical, and so yeah, read the book, y'all. We ride along with them as they endure a paintball game turned stomach flu and a brief fake dating turned real dating at a family member's wedding. And sure did turn real
fast,
if you know what I mean. If you love sarcastic banter, romantic comedy shenanigans, and a grumpy male main character who is actually a closet romantic. So in love.
So deeply in love.
For being so angry.
He falls first.
Woo!
Falls first and falls so hard.
So sweet.
It was really precious.
Oh, you have found the perfect book. And I appreciate this 3rd paragraph. Now it is our duty as smart reviewers to let you know that the spice content in this novel does leave something to be desired. You're right, it does not spell it out. It leaves a lot of space. Maybe my imagination literally filled in that space, and that's why I remember it.
My imagination just turns all the characters into people that I want them to look like.
That's your skill?
That's the skill that I have.
That's your special skill? Yeah, my special skill, I guess, is to fill in the blank. I don't know.
She's writing her own sex scene
in
the process.
Yeah, my brain is doing its own thing. Sure. The tension building in foreplay is to die for, but there is one fully described sex scene that requires readers to engage their imagination. So, if you're good at that, you're in the right place. For some of the nitty-gritty aspects of the scene. That's true. We don't actually get the filthy.
There's not a description of, like, penetration.
What does Allie Hazelwood always say? Filthy, disgusting, or she says, like, embarrassing sounds, squelching.
Yes. Yeah, she, like, describes there's, you know what we're talking about. There's smut that describes, like, I mean, like, the stretching and, you know, the words that we use when the dick is too big. And, like, there is a too big dick trope in this, but it's just not very, like, we know his dick's big because she talks about it, but she doesn't describe, like, the way that it feels.
Whereas Allie Hazelwood, to a scientific
she's like,
degree.
Here's exactly how, her husband must be fucking hung.
Yeah. Fucking hung.
She's like, let me tell you from experience.
No, literally. She's like, and for research, I need some more experience so that I can we do this again so I can write this properly? Because, yeah, and you know what? That does take some skill.
Yeah.
It is really, you have to really have lived, I guess. I don't know. One day when we write our fanfic, our fanfic smut.
It is a definite talent to write, like, penetration in, like, a very hot way. That's not, like, that doesn't, like, gross you out, you know? Because, like, there's some, like, very porny ways of describing it where I'm like, okay, fine. But, like, the way that, I mean, Allie Hazelwood we talk about a lot because we love her writing. But the way she describes it is so, like, it's very, I mean, it's from the female perspective, obviously.
But yes, it's a female perspective, like, very descriptive. I don't know. You know it when you're reading it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know it when you're reading it and you're like, oh, this is not, like, weird or gross. This is like, no, this is what it feels like. I'm here in this moment. That's a pretty magical thing to be able to do. So yeah, I guess she's leaving some of those things out, which is, I mean, maybe it's best if
and the movie did too.
We'll get into that. That maybe made me angry in that aspect. Showed nothing, but yeah, you say it really well here. However, don't let that deter you. This book will have you giggling and kicking your feet and wanting the opposite of a nice guy. Very cute. You put 4 out of 5 stars. I feel like that's totally appropriate. A savage reviewer. I mean, you are here with the honesty.
I'm so mean.
So mean. Rating systems are just the most subjective things in the world.
I think this book has a pretty high rating on Goodreads, I think. I think it's over 4 stars.
Yeah, this has been out maybe since like 2016, 18. It's been out for a minute.
It's pretty popular on Book Talk. I've seen it a lot.
I am going to read everything Sally Thorne has ever written now, and I keep seeing her. Yeah, 2016, August 9th. 70,000 reviews and has 3.9 stars.
Okay, so almost 4 stars. That's pretty high on Goodreads. People can be pretty harsh.
Yeah, that's true. They'll give it like 1 star for something stupid.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty impressed. Yeah.
All right. We'll dive in. I've got some notes. Probably not as many as I normally do, just because when I was reading it, I was just like, I was along for the ride.
Sure. You were in the moment.
Part of the way I forgot that I was supposed to be taking notes on it, so, which is a great sign.
Honestly, that's a great way to describe how this book makes you feel.
Yeah.
The tension building was enveloping.
Okay, so I highlighted the first paragraph of this book because this is a killer opening to a book. Like, when I read this, like, first sentence, I was like, oh, I'm in.
Yeah. She's Sally Thorne.
Okay. Chapter 1, page 1, very first paragraph of the book. I have a theory. Hating someone feels disturbingly similar to being in love with them. I've had a lot of time to compare love and hate, and these are my observations. Love and hate are visceral. Your stomach twists at the thought of that person. The heart in your chest beats heavy and bright, nearly visible through your flesh and clothes. Your appetite and sleep are shredded. Every interaction spikes your blood with a dangerous kind of adrenaline, and you're on the brink of fight or flight. Your body is barely under control. You're consumed, and it scares you. Both love and hate are mirror versions of the same game, and you have to win. Why? Your heart and your ego. Trust me, I should know. Killer opening.
I should know. Yeah.
I read that and I was like, oh, I know exactly what this is going to be. And
yeah.
I'm here. I'm here for it.
It's just, in Pride and Prejudice, I think often of, like, this trope works for a reason. Like, the grumpy sunshine, enemies to lovers, hate to love. Like, it's just, it is such a visceral felt experience, and we all just want to feel something.
Yes.
It's just, yeah, She captures it really beautifully.
Yeah, I definitely had like people in my life where like, especially when I was younger, when my emotions like ran much hotter and higher, where I was like, I just like physically hate that person. Like the feeling is so like, it's heavy and thick, just the same way like being like desperately in love with someone is.
It encompasses you. Yeah, it's this like somatic experience of, because emotions are energy and motion in our bodies.
Yes.
And hate is a very strong emotion, and love is a very strong emotion. Mm-hmm. And they're experiences, they're embodied experiences that are really parallel.
Okay, so then my next highlight is on page 17. This is just our physical descriptions of our characters. This is a big plot point of this book.
This is emphasized frequently.
I'm a pipsqueak at exactly 5 feet tall. It's been my lifelong cross to bear. My lack of height is an agonizing topic of conversation. Joshua is at least 6'4", 5, 6, maybe more. A giant of a human, and he's built out of heavy materials. He is big, and I am small, and I hate him so much.
Like, you cannot start a book better than that.
I know.
Like for me, you've got me.
I'm teeny tiny. He's giant. And he's like really strong. I
don't know what to tell you. Like, it's ideal. It's just so dreamy. I mean, the small girl, big, large man trope is, I don't know, it's so desperately hetero. It's
100%,
so
like,
overdone, and yet here we are.
And here we are.
I mean, Taylor herself.
Yeah,
she gets it.
She only ever wanted to be small girl.
And she is small girl.
And she's small girl.
Oh my God.
She gets to be small girl.
Today is the footage of, for our listeners, the Coachella.
Yeah, she's at Coachella. She was at Ice Spices.
With her bodyguard. And he is like fully enveloping her.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's
his
something
like
about
shirt
it.
is on her, like, around her shoulders.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
As much as I
smut.
So hot. It's so hot to see them together. It is unhot to me the way that he only ever frat flicks when he dances. I'm so like, stupid. What is that? Like, I know he can dance because I've seen him dance in the end zone. Like, I know you can.
Yes, that's true.
Like, I've seen you like hit the Dougie. Like, I've seen you do it, but you're just like flapping your hands.
He does. Yes, he just
the frat flick. I'm like, stop doing that.
Yeah. And when he does the collar,
such a dumbass.
I just love him.
Look,
we're discerning critics.
Sometimes you just need to be in love with the dumbass.
A himbo. Let me tell you, it's good. It's good for the soul.
Big dumb idiot.
Chicken soup for the soul.
Exactly. All right. So,
Joshua Tippleman is not dumb.
No, he
is big, but he's
huge, but he is not
Dr. Josh.
Dr. Josh. So Lucy has a sex dream. Well, not loosely it's a hot dream about Joshua. He said at work the day before, he said that once he was her boss, he would work her so fucking hard.
Oh, dominate. Yeah, I'm gonna work you so fucking hard. And we know that's exactly what he meant.
Yes. Oh, 100%.
But at first, I mean, we know they're going to fall in love, but we don't know how.
Yes.
We don't know how. The tension, Sally Thorne, you know what you're doing.
Yes. So she has a sex dream, or a hot dream, about him, like, being on top of her, grabbing her, saying that he's going to work her so fucking hard. So then, the next day, she dresses in this, like, super hot little black dress.
Yeah. As any thinking woman would.
Of course.
This is exactly the right move.
Well, she's like, well, he's in my head. I'm going to get in his head.
This is... Oh,
and it's so relatable. Like, she comes in, she looks super hot, and she, like, drops all her shit. I'm like, that's... Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Also relatable. Yeah. But her this is something that they did not reflect well in the movie, the interior design of it all. But what I love is that she's got on this little skirt, but the desks are glass.
Yes.
And so he can see, like, you can see the tension building of him, like, glancing down at her shorty little skirt.
Yes, it's and it's
he's in love with her.
Another, like, discrepancy is, like, it's very emphasized that most of the surfaces in the office are mirrors.
Yes.
So she puts her makeup on using one of the many reflective surfaces.
The flamethrower red.
Yes, and no, it's not how it is.
I know. The movie fell short in many ways because a man produced it, and so we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is, she comes in,
Yeah, so
She has the sex
she
dream.
desperately like she wants to be in his head in the same way, and
They're both up for this promotion,
Yes.
and so now the competition's
she's trying
on.
to distract him. When
Yeah.
she doesn't realize that she already is like living in his head. But okay, so on page 58, she's trying to describe the sex dream to him,
Which, like, no one is telling a sex dream
to your coworker. Hell no.
No one is doing that
No.
unless you're toying with them, unless you're flirting. Like, we know what you're doing.
Joshua Templeman is turned on in my presence. Why does it make me want to tease him even more? I'll come over and tell you. I lock my computer screen.
Literally.
I'm fine. I have to share it. I have to.
In her little short dress. Let me tell you my sex dream. Okay.
I walk over slowly and put my hands on the edge of his desk. He looks at my fishnet legs with such a tormented expression.
Fishnet tights.
Come on, to work? Ma'am. Ma'am. I almost feel sorry for him. This is unprofessional. He glances at the ceiling for inspiration before finding it. HR. Is that our safe word? Okay.
The banter is unparalleled.
This is what I'm talking about. Like, this kind of banter,
Excellent.
It's so hot and so silly and so spicy the whole time. It's so good.
Yeah.
You just wrote
all caps hot.
Hot.
Yeah, it is. It is decidedly hot. So in the same way, excellent. We have a highly highlighted section. I'm trying to think of other authors we've loved the banter, and definitely Allie Hazelwood, but
Tessa Bailey has some good banter.
yes, she does. She does. I feel like the banter is a big one for me. That's a big.
Well, because
it's chemistry.
It comes back to the way women
It's female arousal.
Yeah, how women or like female identified folks engage in sexuality.
Yeah,
it's like you have to engage our minds before you can even think about engaging our body.
Yes, and I think that's the fun. Well, we've covered this a million times, but that's the fun of smut. Is like and good smut because it actually like engages your mind.
Yes,
and
like
it helps you be present. Mm-hmm. My crock pot, not a microwave.
I know why I highlighted.
I'm like, what is this?
I know why I highlighted so much of this page. Okay, y'all. So, little Lucy lies about having a date. She's still dressed up at work, and he's like, "What the fuck are you wearing?"
She lies on the spot.
Yes, and she's like, "Well, I have a date, obviously," and so
he's like, "What are you? Why?"
So she walks over to the design department, and she's like, "Hey, Danny, come to dinner with me. I'm really hot." And he's like, "Okay."
And he's already been like a little puppy.
Yeah, he's like, "Okay." So she tells Joshua, "We're gonna go to the bar at 7." And he's like, "Oh, cool, I'll be there too, actually." And he's like, "And also, isn't your car in the shop? I'll drive you. Mm-hmm. I'll drive you to the bar." So they get into the elevator.
This is what page number?
67.
Yeah, this is straight out the gate.
So fucking hot. And
straight out the gate.
So I will be so honest, when I was like first started this book, I was like low expectations for like the smut, just because I hadn't seen people talking about it that much. Like people were like, I enjoyed the book, but they weren't talking about the smut aspect. But when I was on page 67 and we're like getting hard in an elevator, I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
That's when I texted you and I was like, oh, I'm sold.
yeah. This is a solid.
So like I said, the foreplay in this book is so good. And I guess like
foreplay banter. And the sex is just like the thing that's missing is like super filthy description. But like this is
so good.
So he's like, your car's in the shop, girly.
I'm gonna drive you. I'll drive you. Don't even worry about
possessive. Streets and sheets.
Look, honestly, maybe not even streets and sheets for me.
I know. It's really hot. Be angry that I'm going out with someone else, please.
Yeah. There was recently. We were gonna have dinner at the Mexican restaurant that's like right over there.
Oh.
And
yes, that's one.
It's always slammed like on a Friday night.
Truly.
And so we're walking
this area are like,
we're walking in the parking lot, and I step off the curb, and then a car comes like whipping around the edge, and A like grabbed my arm and like yanked me back, and then he like put me behind him, and he was like, "That car almost hit you," and I was like, "You protected me."
It's all I ever wanted. Having been with you whilst you have stepped off of a curb into traffic to go see a dog, and then have been with you whilst you have fallen off said curb and twisted your ankle. Katie Byrne, no! I am so glad that A did that because he is correct. you would have gotten hurt. And that's why you need big, strong boy.
I need big, strong boy because I have no sense of self-preservation. I was like, oh my God, a dog. And then I, like, devastatingly sprained, like, severe high ankle sprain. Like, could not put weight on it for several weeks.
Walking around. Yes, that was terrible. I felt so bad.
It was not
because
your fault at all.
I wasn't A. My reflexes were not to do a protect.
You also wanted to see the dog.
It was a big, white, fluffy dog.
It was a Great Pyrenees. We had to go touch it.
Okay. So sue us.
Anyway.
Priorities. Okay, elevators.
We're in the elevator.
Elevators.
I try to slide down, but he spans his hands on my waist and presses me against the wall.
She thinks that he's angry and that he hates her.
Yes. Yes.
Her denial is delicious.
It's wild. How could he like me? How could a little worm like me?
Infuriating, and it's so funny.
I squeeze his shoulders until I come to the informed conclusion that his body is extravagant.
No!
Muscle under these Clark Kent shirts. Clark Kent shirts? Really? Okay.
She makes many Superman references. I don't know. I don't care.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Cute.
Mm-hmm. Holy shit. His collarbone is like a crowbar under my palms. I say only the idiotic thing I can think of. Muscles. Bones. Josh says, thanks. And then I wrote, me trying to talk to people.
Muscles.
Bones.
But seriously, when the blood is evacuating my brain, I don't...
When he puts one hand on my jaw and tilts my head back, I wait for the squeeze to start. She thinks he's gonna, like, strangle her. Like, that's how delusional she is.
She's scared.
Yeah. At any moment, his palm will snap tight and I will begin to die. Nose to nose, breath against breath. One of his fingertips is behind my earlobe and I shiver when it slides. Shortcake. The sweet little word dissolves and I swallow. I'm not going to kill you. You're so dramatic. Then he presses his mouth lightly against mine. Neither of us closes our eyes. We stare at each other like always, closer than we've ever been. His irises are ringed blue-black. His eyelashes lower and he looks at me with an expression like resentment. His teeth catch my bottom lip in a faint bite and goosebumps spread. My nipples pinch. My toes curl in my shoes.
Yes.
I accidentally touch him with my tongue and when I check for damage, although it didn't hurt, when it was too soft, too careful. My brain is whirring hopelessly with explanations of what is happening. My body begins to better its grip. So she's wrapping her legs around it, like
in a fucking elevator.
He has
paused.
He pulled the emergency stop. He picked her up, put her on the railing.
Absolutely, sir. His hands are under her ass and thighs,
sir.
Shortcake. He calls her short. Oh, I can't.
It's just
so
it's
hot.
delicious.
And he's jealous. I am verklempt. I was verklempt the whole time.
The whole time. I didn't even have a note for that. I just highlighted it.
No, you cannot pause.
I had nothing else.
Note.
I had nothing to say. I was like drooling.
I am who I am. I was quite happy with that.
Oh, delicious. I love an elevator moment. I think that comes back from like the first time I read 50 Shades of Grey and I was like,
ooh.
I love elevators.
I think there's so much. I mean, even New Girl. I'm currently rewatching.
Yes.
Yeah. There's so many elevator moments. It's so good.
It's so hot. Okay, page 79. Everyone, get your shot glasses ready. We're gonna have a Taylor Swift reference.
We never do this on the pod.
We never do. He does also say Machiavellian at some point in this book.
Cryptic and Machiavellian.
He does, because he has a whole plan, and it was really Machiavellian. I didn't highlight that, but I did notice it.
I love him. I love him. I love him.
I can still remember the taste of his mouth. I breathed his hot exhalations until my lungs were filled with him. His air was inside my body.
Oh my
he taught
God.
me things in a space of 2 minutes that the span of my lifetime did not. You taught me a secret language I can't speak with anyone else.
It's her
His
descriptions.
air was inside my body.
Her descriptions of how much she, quote, hates
him,
unquote.
That's how you talk about someone you hate.
Her descriptions of how much of how she feels towards him are some of the most. Maybe I was just in a great space while reading this, but it was just some of the most beautiful.
Were you ovulating?
I think I had to be ovulating. Yes. Like, I'm lining up the timeline now, and I'm like, I think I was like squarely in ovulation. Wasn't I? Like, if we count back,
yeah,
we're both on our period.
We're both on our period right now.
We're both on our period. Count back. Yes, it was.
Yes.
And I was like, this is everything I've ever wanted in a book. I'm in love.
I am happy.
She is breathing his air, and I
have filled my lungs with his breath.
It doesn't take much, folks.
Oh my gosh.
So hot. But it was just so shocking for her. that he smelled so good.
Well, and
that she was into him. She was like, how is this possible?
he kissed me, but he hates me. Interesting.
It befuddled her.
He's turned on when he's around me. I wonder what that could mean.
His dick is hard.
Cannot compute.
So sometimes it's really annoying, and it's like, big dumb girl. Sometimes it's stupid, but this was
Sally is
so
she's a writer. So
Sally's
this writing
good.
is just so beautiful, and like I'm not like big. I don't really care that much about like writing styles or like prose. I can get kind of lost in the sauce sometimes, but it doesn't. I'm not here.
I live in the sauce. I am only sauce, actually.
Yeah. But I'm not here to critique the way that an author writes. I don't fucking write books. But this, when I was reading this, I was like, I feel like I'm reading a book. Like she's.
I think that's why I loved it.
Yeah, like she's describing these beautiful scenes. Like I pictured everything so clearly because it's all, which is also what made me mad.
Made me mad about the movie
because everything is so specifically described in this book. Like every single detail. There's nothing left to the imagination.
You have to
except for
sex. True, except for that sex scene. But you have to so intentionally not do what she said.
Yes.
She spelled out exactly what happened, how it felt, how it looked. And so to make a screenplay and make a film that is the opposite is just disrespectful.
It's disrespectful.
I hope Sally Thorne got paid so much money because this
she
had
made
to
a
have been
shit ton of money.
infuriating to watch. Because it was, she really transports you.
Yeah.
She covers it.
Okay, so one of Josh's quirks is that he wears the same, like, 8 shirts or something, all in the same order, every single week, and so she knows exactly what he's gonna wear. Except sometimes he tries to throw her off her game. Page 82. Today is a magnificent black t-shirt day. Write today in your diaries.
Because we're paintballing, right?
Or paintballing, yes. Oh, paintball, yes. Tell your grandchildren stories about it. I tear my eyes away, but they slide back moments later. Underneath that t-shirt is a body that could fog an elderly librarian's glasses. And I think my underwear is curling off me like burning paper.
Let me tell you.
But I hate him.
I hate him. I'm
going to write this in my diary, but I fucking hate him.
I can't breathe without him.
Yeah.
But I hate him.
Oh, I wrote, how do we show this to all men? Just wear the damn black t-shirt.
Wear the fucking black t-shirt.
Wear the black t-shirt.
That hugs your muscles.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Just do it.
Oh my god. Paintball was super cute.
Super precious.
It was a like team building retreat thing.
Yes. So, and Josh planned it.
Very cute. Paintball. This is we're gonna get to this. Have you heard my paintball story?
No, I have, but the listener should hear it.
Okay, the listeners should probably hear this.
Yes.
So, Jay and I met as tiny baby children in our early 20s. We met at a retreat for the Lord.
Praising the Lord. One hand on the heart, one hand to the sky.
One hand on the heart, one hand to the sky. Actually, it was a little more conservative than that. So, we weren't raising our hands.
No spirit leaving where my trust is without borders?
No. We definitely had some hymns.
Oh, Amazing Grace.
It was
How Great Thou Art, probably.
Oh, for sure.
That's a banger.
Because we were in the wilderness, and so we were really worshiping. We were really getting into the Word. No disrespect to those who are believers. That is beautiful. This was a little silly though. This was a different breed.
There's a difference between like
a sincere
emotional manipulation is very present in Yes. Well, that's a different podcast.
Y'all, I work a lot with religious trauma.
Yeah.
We talk about it on the pod a little bit. So not to be a total Debbie Downer.
Knowledge is power, but just recognize when you're being manipulated with music and sound, and production and
truly, and also lean into your faith and your genuine belief if that serves you well. We absolutely no disrespect, but that was where we were at in our time in our lives. But it was a retreat, and so we had church services and stuff, and then we had lots of it was at a camp, and so we got to be outside. And so
purpling outside.
We met. I'll tell that story sometime. But we had lunch and then an activity. We had a choice of activities. I chose to do something normal and low key. I don't even remember what it was because it's a moot point. Because Jay, I was like, well, what are you gonna do? Or he asked me, what are you gonna do after this? And I was like, well, I'm gonna go do whatever the activity is, a normal person.
I'm gonna go color a picture.
It was painting or something that I actually wanted to do. And he said, oh, well, I'm going paintballing. And I said, okay, I'll see you later.
I don't want to get bruised, but
This did not even enter my... No, I'm... Nice to... There are so many other guys here.
Nice to know you.
There are so many other... I'm not going... He was like, you should come with me. I'm like, why would I do that? In what... No. And then he was like, okay. And he like grabbed a sugar packet. I can see this so viscerally. He was like, if it lands on this side, you go paintballing with me. And if it doesn't, I go... Or if it lands on the other side, I'll go with you to your thing. And I'm like, okay, this seems fair. Sure. And of course, it landed on the paintballing side, and so I went paintballing. And he did such a good protect.
Oh, it's so sweet.
I had met him like an hour prior, because we met and then had lunch together, and then he was like, what are you doing? And then we immediately went paintballing. I had known him for like a couple of hours on this earth, and he did such a sweet protect the whole time. It was very cute, and he like brought me protective gear. It was very sweet. It was very romantic. Like,
Yeah,
that's a fun way to fall in love in your early 20s.
Paintball is like a surprising, like, I feel like that happens a lot. And like, it's
pretty
10 Things I Hate About You. That's also like, it's like a very romantic,
There's
silly
danger.
kind of, yeah.
And
it's like low stakes danger, but it's like, it feels so like adrenaline rushy and like.
And Sally Thorne does an adorable, awesome. I mean, paintball does not cross my mind ever. I'm not a paintballer. That was just a cute story of when we met. But this made me. I enjoyed.
Oh, it was
her
so cute.
Her
like,
description.
It was so beautifully described, and then like Lucy jumps in front of him and like takes a couple shots, and he's like, no, and then he like rolls them, and like he covers her. It's
chef's kiss. Okay, you've got it all highlighted.
Yes, this is later on. So after that paintballing game, she has like food poisoning, stomach flu. She vomits all over him.
She's like visibly
sores.
getting sick.
Yeah.
Oh
and he
my
recognizes
God.
her. And he's like, hey, you don't look right. And she's like, well, thanks a lot, asshole.
No, she's like fainting.
Turns out she's like super sick, throws up a lot. Doctor brother shows up, helps.
He takes care of
her. It was so sweet.
He like literally takes care of her as she's vomiting in her
like,
sleepy
that was
t-shirt.
definitely like I went from page 87 to 145 because that was definitely the time where
so
I
much.
just
It was so good.
forgot that I was highlighting things. I was like just reading. I'm like, I'm just reading.
And that's telling.
Yes, it's telling. And you know me. I love when someone takes care of me. Like I love that. It's like they call them like microchopes. Like when the FMC gets sick and then the MMC takes care of her. Like I love it.
It comes up a lot, and it's very cute.
It's just because like as women, we just want someone to
take care of us for
like
once.
we take care of everything
And everyone all of
like,
the time.
can you just do everything for me right now?
He literally, and then he cleaned her house.
Yeah, he changed her shirt.
Oh my God.
The sleepy sores.
And then whenever his brother came to do the like little checkup, he's like holding her up. Oh my God, it was so
she's sitting
hot.
between his legs and she's leaning against his back and she's like
feverish.
Oh my God, there's two of you.
Adorable.
So good. Okay. So this is we're gonna argue in the supply closet because where else are we gonna argue?
Important.
Okay, page 145. I push him against the door and feel a thrill when I hear the thought of his weight against it. Kiss me. I whisper it and the air gets warmer. So the or something game involves kissing. How interesting, Lucinda. He passes his fingers through my hair, raking it gently away from my face. I don't know the rules yet. It's a pretty new game. Are you sure about that? He looks down to watch my hand spread out over his stomach. I push at the hard flesh. It doesn't remotely give. Like
She's obsessed with him.
She's obsessed with his body. It's very descriptive of like how
his body is accurately described.
How many muscles he has. Like he talks about how much he goes to the gym because he's all pent up because he's getting his days are from this really hot girl. Are you wearing a bulletproof vest? I've got to in this office. See the banter.
Cute.
I really am sorry for hurting your feelings and for throwing you out of my apartment, Josh. When I use the shortened name, it's a little peace offering. It's an apology. Frankly, it's a pleasure. It lets me imagine that he's my friend who lets me run my palms up his torso in the cleaner's closet. I wish he'd run his hands up mine. Apology accepted, but you can't expect me to be the nice guy when another man walks you into the office, kisses you, and gives you flowers.
Danny.
He's so jealous. It's
so
not the
good.
way. This is not the way that game works between you and me.
He's get away from her.
Yeah. I never had the faintest clue on how it works. I swallow heavily. He touches his fingers underneath my chin, raising my face to his. I thought you were so clever, Lucinda. I must be wrong. I rise on tiptoes, and when my hands slide onto his shoulders and grip, when I press my fingernails into him, his throat constricts in a swallow, and I manage to land one glancing open-mouthed kiss across it. I can feel the effect it has. His hands flex, his hips tilt toward me. Something heavy presses into my stomach. This is the best game I've ever played in my life. This is what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Like,
no.
that's most of this page.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then later on, I don't did I have
Do they even kiss there?
I'm not sure they do.
Because
but
I think that's when he says, like, kiss Danny, and if it was as good as our kiss in the
Yes.
elevator, then let's
like, you're
do
gonna
this.
come to me and tell me no one kisses you like I do. Sir.
The dom of it all.
I think in that scene they don't kiss, but she does. Like, she's like, "Can you please touch me?" And he's like, "Make
You
me."
put your hands
and
on-
so he like she
Oh.
like takes his hands, puts one on her boob and one on her ass. Same.
Same, actually.
It's really good.
It is delicious.
Okay, so this book does have some good, like, Allie Hazelwood, He Falls First stuff in it.
He's clearly smitten the whole time. It's really sweet.
It's so obvious to us.
And she is so dumb.
Who could love a worm like me?
Who could possibly love? And she's truly beautiful.
She is, and she's like, and she's just trying. She just wants to fuck him. She's like, I think we just, like, I think
because
this
she thinks that this is just
physical
arousal.
attraction. Yeah. And he's like, no. He's like,
Because he loves her.
He's like, if this is like a one-time thing, then we're gonna drag it out.
Because she says, let's get this out of our system.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Okay, so on page 167, 2,114 other people highlighted this because this is what we want.
This is what the girlies are here for.
Yeah. I spot a little origami bird I made of notepaper. I once flicked at him during a meeting. It is balanced on the edge of the bookshelf. I look at his profile in the
his
kitchen.
apartment.
Yep. As he arranges 2 mugs on the counter in front of him. How strange to imagine him putting my tiny folded scrap in his pocket and bringing it home. This is the picture in the nightstand, the drawing in the bottom drawer. Like,
it is so tender. Whenever a grown man does something so tender, so, like, I have found, like, little mementos that, like, Jay has saved. And it's just, like, the most heart-melting thing.
it's so sweet. And they're like, just like, and it's sometimes the most, like, random thing, so tiny thing, and they're just like, yeah, I kept it.
It's a quarter that I picked up on the street the day I met you.
Yes.
Or like, oh my God.
Was it, Nick Miller does this when he,
Yes, for her birthday.
Her birthday thing, and he holds $1 and he's like, this is the dollar I had in my pocket the first night that we kissed, and I always have it with me.
My God.
Oh my God.
It's just, women just want to prove it.
Prove it.
Show me that you
Fucking
love me.
prove it.
And
Exactly.
it's little things like this that are just so sweet. And this is super cute because she, like, comes to the parking lot. This is after the date with Danny.
Mm-hmm.
And the kiss with Danny was like kissing a cousin.
Yeah, she was like,
Which we knew because you had that kiss me elevator.
and she lets him down. It's very.
Yeah.
She's like, hey,
Amicable.
Like, I don't think so.
Very cute.
But
very,
we have a working relationship. I want you to help me with this stuff. Like, I want to be friends.
which is great because it continues to infuriate Joshua. But it was just, she was like, well, that didn't go so well. And then she just found herself at Joshua's apartment.
Was there, and he was coming home from the gym because he's always at the fucking gym.
Oops.
I think, is that the time where she, like, races him home?
She was so confused. Yeah.
And she's like, I'm gonna beat you home. And he's like, no, please just let me shower. And she's like, no.
It was, she was like, I don't know how I'm
arms,
here.
koala bears onto him while he's disgustingly sweaty. And she's, like, licking his neck like a fucking dog.
She's inhaling him. But she hates him.
But
It's just about sex. Yeah, sure.
So there's a lot of these scenes where they're hanging out at his apartment and they're just making out, and it doesn't go any further than that.
That is a little frustrating.
I ate it up, though.
I know! It's foreplay!
Yes, and, like, I feel like it's been I'm old and married now, but, like, when A and I were dating, we used to do that all the time. We would make out for hours.
So hot.
Because, like, we couldn't have sex. We were Christians.
But let me tell you.
We don't really do that anymore.
Female sexuality. Yeah, exactly.
But, like, reading about it, I'm like, this is hot.
All the sex therapists are like, actually, you need to do that. You need to, like, introduce that. I mean, I'm sure our enlightened listeners are into this all the time, but making time to just make out.
Yeah.
So
like,
good.
That doesn't lead to sex. It's just like, we're just going to kiss for a little while.
It's so, because you lose that.
Yeah.
When you, like, own a home together and you can have sex anywhere, anytime.
Exactly. The sex palace.
The afternoon delight.
Page 173. It's possible our size mismatch has added a friction to our interactions during our working hours.
It's possible.
It's possible.
That this has been arousing.
I've always tried to make myself stronger in the only way I can. My mind and my mouth. Yes, bitch. Same.
We love to hear it.
I think he's converted me. I think I'm into muscles now. I've started to breathe a little hard, and he looks at me. What's with the weird eyes? Relax. I was thinking how big you are. I look at our joined hands. He carefully strokes the length of my palm with his thumb. When we look at each other again, his eyes are a little darker. I'll fit you just right.
Wow.
Okay.
You can take it. I mean, it's a trope. It's a trope that we live for and that we eat up with a spoon. What's your note here? What's your note on this?
Sir! Exclamation point. Florida!
Sir! Florida! That was... He was like, I'm pretty confident that
I think it's actually... We'll make it work.
we're going to fit just fine.
Don't even
He's
worry
thought
about it.
He has considered this already, Lucy. You're going to be in great hands.
Yeah, and so they do this super cute thing where he like watches ER to piss off his dad because it's super inaccurate. His comes from a family of doctors,
Surgeons.
And so he's like
A special breed.
he's like, you've got the horny eyes, so just fucking watch TV. Like
Because he's trying to slow her down.
he's trying to date her.
Because
This is a date.
because he loves her.
We're on a date
and
right
he
now.
doesn't want this to just be like a one-time thing.
Yeah. So she's like always trying to like climb him like a tree, and he's like, will you just hold my hand and watch TV
The
with
most
me?
relatable thing, honestly. Lucy is doing what all of us would be doing.
Yes. And he's like, I just want to watch TV. Like, let's just
They're
watch.
literally watching TV.
Drinking tea. Not even alcohol. In the movie, they drink alcohol. No, they drink tea.
Well, also, this is super tender because she's a little afraid.
Yeah.
And so she's like afraid, but she's super turned on. And so he's like, okay, we're gonna
Slow it down.
You've had a long day. Like, let's just hang out. I'm glad you're here. Like, I'm gonna make you some tea.
Yeah.
It was very like caring.
Yes, very caring.
Very loving, some might say.
Okay, page 176. You've told me we'll only do this once, so I'm gonna need a long time. I feel a fluttery pinch between my legs. How long? A long time. Days. Probably longer. My knees knock together, his eyes crinkle. Let's call in sick tomorrow. I'm infatigable in my quest to get his clothes off. He looks at the ceiling and swallows hard. Like I'm gonna waste my one big chance on a generic Monday night. It won't be a waste. How can I explain it? When we were kids, Patrick would always eat his Easter egg straight away.
His brother.
Yes, I could make mine last until my birthday. When's your birthday? June 20th. What star sign are you? Cancer? Gemini.
Ding, 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 ding.
And why wouldn't you eat it straight away exactly? Wow, I sure know how to make things sound filthy. A Gemini king. So I am a Cancer. Anna is a Gemini.
Yes.
He's on the cusp, though. That's pretty close.
That is pretty close. Yeah. There's something to be said. There's
Yeah.
something to be said for a Gemini. And this is, and I love that, I know just enough about astrology to be dangerous. But
Just enough to say the exact wrong thing.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Same.
enough to anger people who know a lot more than I
Yeah.
do. But, he seems to be one way. He seems to be Dr. Josh. He seems to be this cold, hateful kind of guy. But then there's a dual truth here.
Yes.
Of he is actually another way.
Yeah, he's actually a romantic. Like, he's not cold and he's not disinterested. He's actually extremely very interested.
We contain multitudes.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
People are complex. We love to see it.
Okay, page 257. Now, this is my informed consent for all the girlies. Like, 257, we're not even close to having sex. Like,
I mean, the tension's really good.
the tension's really good, but we're not.
But if that frustrates you,
Yeah.
then be forewarned.
But it is, so I thought of this because I made the note that, like, hey, we're pretty, like, 66% of the book and we haven't had a sex scene yet. However,
it should be noted.
it's, like, all of these things are written so, so beautifully.
Truly.
Page 257. He wants to press his mouth against my skin, bite, eat, devour. He wants me, hands and knees, wet skin and cold air, fingers sliding into me, his whispered words barely audible over my labored breathing, tears of frustration and wet mascara making a Rorschach pattern on the pillowcase. I already know what I'll get from him, coaxing, tormenting, a darkly worded warning when I get too close. I'll be rolled into whatever position he feels like, bossy, hands cupping, tilting, tightening, gentling.
Absolutely.
But I also know he'll make me laugh, sigh, he'll tease me, chide my theatrics, make me smile even when I want to strangle him. My defiance will earn me a delay, my acquiescence a kiss. Poetry. Tortured poetry.
It's tortured poetry.
It's beautiful. Like, I want to get that, like, tattooed in my eyes.
It's so like, and she's right. This is how their sexual encounter goes.
Yes.
But it's such a like she knows how they are in real life, and so this is going to translate in the bedroom. So hot.
It's so hot. It's just... And she's like thinking about all of her like previous boyfriends, people she's had sex with, and she's like, hold on a second.
Wait a minute.
I don't think I've been doing this right.
They couldn't, what was it? He couldn't even pick me up with his tiny little boy's spade.
Yes.
It was, I mean, dreamy.
Dreamy.
We were all falling in love right along with her.
All right, page 292, the brother's wedding. Now, this does have your classic, my ex-girlfriend is marrying my brother trope.
Yes.
But it is not in any way devastating in the way that it is in other books.
Yeah.
Like, Josh doesn't give a fuck. He's like, I don't even like her.
There was no point at which I was like afraid for Lucy of like, oh no, this is his love. He was frustrated. He didn't want to go because it's embarrassing and stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it fucked it up in the way that he's like, why does everybody want to date someone nice? Like, I don't even, like, Patrick's so nice. Danny's so nice. Like, that's not how I am. I'm not just like, I'm not a warm, fuzzy kind of guy.
Which was I loved that he kind of was, not an identity crisis, but he was just angry that like, the nice guy always wins, but I'm me.
I guess I'm never going to win this game.
I guess that, just this is who I am and how I'm wired, and I guess every girl wants a nice guy.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it was interesting to hear about his ex.
Mm-hmm. So she finds out at the wedding, like Mindy basically...
Devastating.
Mindy just comes up to her and she's like, hey, you're with my ex-boyfriend. And she's like, oh, great.
Didn't know. Are you already at that point?
Yeah.
At the wedding. So, yes. They have another little falling out of some sort after the time of the apartment. And then she is no, she says something about like, I don't know if I'm into this.
She overhears him, I won't need help beating her.
Yes.
For the promotion.
Yes. And we find out why. But so then she's like all offended and, getting in her own way, which makes us all a little angry. But she overheard that he needs a date to his brother's wedding.
Yes.
And so she's like, I'll go to that with you, blah, blah, blah. So now she is now having to go fake date at this wedding that she didn't know what this was going to be.
And like his whole family basically knows that he's desperately in love with this girl. Yeah. And so they just assume that they're together. They're like so happy to see them. She's like, the mom is so sweet. And she's like, oh my God, I'm going to keep you.
I'm going to keep you forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's super sweet. But I mean, what a dream to have like all this sexual attention with your coworker. Now to be a little angry because you're like, oh my God, I trusted you, but you're going to take my promotion and all this stuff. And there's this agreement that if I get the promotion, you're going to leave. If you get the promotion, I'm going to leave. And then we have to go on an overnight.
They have to share a room?
And then
they only booked a certain amount of rooms for the bridal party?
It was
oh my God.
Shocking, really. Whenever there was only one bed.
Yeah.
That
really blew my mind.
I didn't see it coming.
Also, randomly, the movie takes place at Christmas time. I was like, what's happening?
The movie can fuck right off.
She's like wearing a Christmas sweater and decorating a tree when he picks her up. And it's definitely like 80 degrees and sunny outside because they just filmed it whenever. I'm like, why did you make it Christmas? At no point did she talk about Christmas in this book.
The movie.
It made no sense to me.
It wasn't the vibe.
Yeah.
But the book was really beautiful. So they're at this wedding.
Yes, they're at the wedding.
Mindy, beautiful wedding, beautiful bride, so much sexual tension. They haven't had sex yet. Oh, no. They did have sex before the wedding?
I think after.
That's right.
I'm sure. Hopefully I highlighted it. We'll see.
TBD.
If we don't, we can find it. Okay.
TBD listeners.
Page 292. We have just found out that, surprise, we're at an ex-girlfriend's wedding to the brother. And we're going to have a little minty.
And we've already heard about the ex-girlfriend. We've already heard stories about the ex-girlfriend. We didn't blondie. Realize that this was...
The tall, blonde, pretty girl.
Which is a fun way to find things out.
Yeah.
Yes. And the whole time I knew it, I'm like...
Yeah, we're going to have a little minty bee. I want to run until I reach the water. I want to leap into a rowboat and sail to a deserted island. Only then will I be able to face up to it. I have feelings for Joshua Templeman. Irreversible, stupid, and ill-advised feelings. Why else would this hurt so much? Why did everything in me ache to wrap my arms around the wedding bouquet and see him smile? I dither along the water's edge. Yeah, why would we ever want to just talk about how we feel? Why would we want to do that?
No, why would we say that out loud?
Why would we...
She can barely admit it to herself, Katie Bird.
You're right. It's so hard. I mean, look. Takes one to know one. I would rather die. I would rather die than take another Spanish test. I would rather die.
I am going to die if I have to take another Spanish class.
Yes, exactly.
This is shorthand for reasonably big feelings.
Yeah. So, listeners, I deal with a lot of students. I have... she's actually not mine, but I just know her. And she was having a little mentee bee at the very end of the day one day. before a long weekend, so naturally I was just exasperated to be dealing with this. So she comes in, she's super upset, and she's like, I will die. I am going to die if I have to take another Spanish class.
And Katie Bird was telling me this in the nail salon.
Yeah.
As like a joke, like, haha, teens are wild.
I was like, I can't believe
this is so dramatic.
At 3:15 on a Thursday before a long weekend
that you're gonna die.
That you are telling me you're gonna die because of your fucking Spanish test.
And I have never identified with something more. And I have since then we have been using that as shorthand for, you know what? Actually, I'm going to die if I have to take another Spanish class.
A minor inconvenience. I'd rather die than take another Spanish test. Actually,
my life is in jeopardy. Yeah, so we get it. Yeah. Lucy would rather die than to speak of this.
Exactly.
Than to admit it to herself.
You know, and that's relatable. Like, I complain about these, like, feeling like characters not... I would truly rather die than say anything about how I'm feeling to anyone.
You're really hard on a miscommunication trope. You're really hard on it.
Yeah.
And it is interesting because you also do not love to state out loud exactly what you're thinking and feeling.
It's difficult.
There's some barriers. And that's okay.
Yeah, we break... Yeah. My partner and I worked at like communication, like I can write my feelings down very well, so I write them out and then he reads them.
I mean, honestly, that is much healthier than not doing it at all.
Yeah.
And it probably helps you feel confident that you said it exactly how you wanted to say it.
Yes.
I prefer to just hold Jay hostage, and just talk it to death. So actually...
Just never stop talking.
With me standing.
Yes.
And him seated. while I discuss it at length.
Gesturing wildly.
Have you been there for this?
Well, there was that one time I had to come back and get my phone or something, and you were like... It wasn't even an argument. You were just like, hey, can you please watch the dogs or something?
Yes.
And I was like, let me yell at him in peace. I was like, I just need to get my phone. I left it.
Look, it's almost 10 years of marriage. And I have things to express, okay? No, it's just so... Y'all, communicate in whatever way you can. Yeah. Because it's actually kind of important.
And it's hard.
But it's hard for our girl, Lucy.
Yes. Okay, page 312. 80% of this book is when we get our sex scene.
Lots of tension has been building up.
And I was ready to break the tension for sure.
We were ready.
Page 312. 80% into the book.
At long last.
Yes, at long last. The smallest bow I've ever seen. He dips his head and bites it. We're going so slowly, I wouldn't be surprised to open my eyes and see daylight. He's always completely different from what I expect. Soft instead of hard, slow instead of fast, shy instead of brash. My previous boyfriends and any of their egg timer foreplay attempts are distant memories now that I'm experiencing the intense pleasure of lying underneath Josh.
I mean, there is a really cute place where she's like, lay on top of me. I want to feel your whole entire weight on me. Crush me. If I die, like, this is how I go.
I've lived a good life.
Yeah, I've lived a good life.
Crush me. That's relatable.
So hot.
You're so soft, it's ridiculous. Everywhere my hand slides, you fit me. I was so right. He demonstrates throat, breast, ribs, hips. Then he shows me his mouth fits perfectly too. My skin heats with every kiss and press. He looks at the sheen of sweat beginning to mist across me, and I hear a faraway sound that I realize is me. Whimpering, begging noises. He makes no notice and shows no pity. He presses his perfect mouth on whatever section of skin he pleases. Inch by inch, he is charting me like a map.
Whew!
So this is what I mean. Like, it's very beautiful, like, and descriptive, but not in a very explicit way.
It's a beautiful way to describe a sexual encounter. It is not necessarily anatomically descriptive.
There's not a description of, like, where his mouth is and, like, what his tongue is doing. That's what I mean when I say not descriptive.
Yeah. Which I think is like fair. Like, some people that is not as exciting and fun. I think it's pretty great.
It's pretty great. And then, so the last part of this scene, the first press he makes is gentle, and my body takes, then takes some more. He's pressing his temple to mine, making desperate sounds like he's in pain, like he's trying to live through this. I involuntarily clench, and he jerks forward hard. Okay, that's pretty descriptive, actually.
Yeah.
My head nearly hits the headboard, and I laugh. Sorry, he says, and I kiss his cheek. Don't apologize. Do it again. Yeah.
Don't apologize for that. Do it again.
Do it again, actually.
That is actually why I'm here.
I would like to continue to do this.
Repeatedly.
Okay, a little bit further on. So they this, like I said, this lasts a long time. Like, we're just meandering through.
Which is
this scene.
dreamy.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Which is why we're disappointed by the sex scene in the movie. It lasts, what, like
oh my God.
30 seconds? She, like, pulls her dress up and she's like, let's go. And it's like, no foreplay. It was just the weirdest thing to watch.
It was
zero
not
fucking
hot.
chemistry.
There was no chemistry. It made me wonder, like, was this our first pick? Like, who did they have? Is this who they were supposed to cast for this role? Like, that he...
Yeah,
I don't know. I put all the blame on him because Lucy Hale was super cute. But, wow. But yes, this was a stunning, beautiful sex scene. Not super descriptive, but...
Yeah.
long, meandering, beautiful. We love to see it.
I'm dying, I warn him. Josh, I'm dying. Josh lifts one of my ankles to rest on his shoulder. His arms hugs my leg, and he studies my face with interest as he increases his pace further. His eyebrows pinch together. The staring game is the absolute best when John is hitting my lifelong non-existent G-spot. The one that exists now. Holy Josh.
Holy Josh.
Holy Josh is correct.
Holy Josh is the appropriate response to that.
Yes.
It seems as if he knows what he's doing.
Yes, he surely does.
It's satisfying. He's thought a lot about this.
I think, well, yes. He definitely has been dreaming about it and thinking about it. And doesn't he say, like, oh, I've been, like, masturbating to you for, like, as long as I've known you?
Hot.
The moment I saw you, actually.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like, oh, that is exactly what
I've been thinking about this for a long time.
That is ideal.
Yes. Okay, so another 2,495 other people highlighted this.
As they should.
A man built like this, with a face like this, being so ridiculously sweet and tender, I'd die a little too. Watching this, and I'm the one on the receiving end, it's like seeing a bruised nightclub bouncer cuddling a tutu-clad toddler, or a cage fighter blowing a kiss to his sweet part in the front row. Brute, raw masculinity contrasted with the gentleness is the most attractive thing on earth.
Yes, it is!
Yes! You can be big, scary man and also be gentle and kind and sweet. And that's actually our type.
That is actually an ideal type. So great. And I feel like, I mean, this was a story of juxtapositions.
Yes, it was.
The two companies that merged were a juxtaposition of different kinds of companies. And it was just the most magical through line throughout the entire story, that there were things that were not like one another coming together.
He is big and helpful.
Exactly. Charming. So sweet.
Yes. All right, page 343. So when I had read this, I obviously hadn't seen the movie yet. And my note on this passage is like, if this scene is not in the movie shot for shot, they have made a mistake. And you know what? They did. Because like,
they sure did.
When I read this, you'll know, like, this is written for, like, the screenplay is written. Like, this is...
And she wrote it, the whole thing.
Like... The stage
so
directions, the screenplay, the set is all described here, and it's so beautifully... It's cinematic.
Yeah.
Okay, listen to this. It's beautiful. The memory of it... So they're driving home from the wedding, and they're in this, like, blissful, like, afterglow. Like,
oh, sure.
Yeah. The memory is lit by the sun through the trees we drive through, nothing but lemons and copper tones scattering across our arms, lighting our eyes up blue, his sapphire, mine turquoise. I see my face in the car's side mirror, and I barely recognize myself. I've changed. I'm someone new today. Today is a momentous day. I had an orgasm.
That is actually how it feels.
Yes.
I'm reborn.
I'm new.
I am brand fucking new.
I'll always remember the drive home as a movie montage. Literally,
there was a movie and this was not included.
Yes. And I knew I was in one. Each detail was vividly bright. I knew I needed the memories one day. This montage is directed by someone French. It wasn't. A man named Patrick.
Not French.
A convertible would have been their preference, but the windows are down, so that's something. The air is unseasonably warm and scented like honeysuckle and cut grass. The montage stars this pretty girl, flamethrower red mouth, smiling over at a beautiful man. He's looking so achingly cool in his sunglasses you immediately want to buy a pair for yourself. He lifts her hand to his mouth and kisses it, tells her something charming and makes her laugh. It's the sort of moment you want to hit pause on and buy whatever it is they're selling.
Yeah.
Happiness, a better life, red lipstick, and those sunglasses. Like...
It's written for you.
Yes. Like...
Yeah, it's not okay.
Yeah.
That wasn't included. It's just, if y'all love really narrative, beautiful descriptions and hilarious banter, this book has got it. It's so fun. And it is kind of a crime against humanity that we would not. There are some books, movie adaptations of books that I really enjoy.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah.
I can think of many. Pride and Prejudice, I love Keira Knightley.
And I can forgive a lot of movie adaptations
Sure,
of stuff.
I
but
get
like,
that it doesn't always work. But this would.
There's one big unforgivable thing, and I'm sure we'll cover it towards the end of the book. But anyway, so we have our big declaration of love on page 335, 92% into this book. I may as well have said, I wish you loved me. I hold my breath with this crazy, intelligent brain. I know he's joining the dots seconds behind me. I struggle up the bed, but he crawls easily over me and lays my head on his pillow. It made no difference. I loved you the moment I saw you.
Oh my God.
I'm falling backward through his bed. He loops an arm around his waist. I jerk like he's caught me. You love... What? Me? How could you love a worm like me? Lucinda, Elizabeth Hutton, one and the same. Me. Lucy, heiress of the Sky Diamond Strawberries dynasty. Me. Could you show me some ID so I can be certain? His eyes are lit, and the smile I love best of all is glowing on his face. But I love you. I can hear...
But I love you!
Yeah. I can hear how incredulous I sound. He laughs. I know. How do you always know everything? I kick my feet against the mattress.
So cute.
So cute.
Dreamy romance.
Okay, so this is where we get so, like, the movie's unforgivable at this point. Page 357. She's asking him to prove it, that he's loved her this long.
Yeah.
Prove it. There's no way that you can. I'm satisfied that I've thrown out the unwinnable challenge. He rolls onto his side and rests his cheek on his bicep. My heart is pounding. What's my favorite color? Easy. Easy. Blue. What kind of blue?
Robinson.
Bedroom blue. I point at the wall. The walls. Your shirt. My dress. Pale Tiffany blue. That was my wedding color, by the way.
Yes, it was.
He tucks me to sit and then goes to the end of the bed, and he opens his wardrobe door, and I see all of the shirts hanging in the color sequence. Josh, you dork. I start to laugh and point, but he grabs my ankles and drags me to the end of the bed. There's a full-length mirror, and I see myself at long last sitting on the bed in his robin's egg bedroom. His walls are the blue of my eyes. Like, come on. It's dreamy. It's sweet.
It was almost like too darling.
Yeah.
I heard it on the audiobook and I was like, oh my God.
What is my favorite color? It's blue.
The color of your eyes.
What kind of blue, woman?
Oh, that
he was like, I thought
too
that
good.
I thought you would think I was insane the first moment you walked into my bedroom, seeing that
that you would catch it immediately.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't because she thinks she's a worm.
She's a worm.
But he's like, I thought you'd find out immediately.
Yeah. It's gorgeous. In the movie,
he's painted his bedroom the color of her eyes. Come on.
In the movie, the bedroom is fucking green, like dark forest green.
Can't do it.
And I guess Lucy Hale has green eyes. I couldn't really see her eyes very well in the movie.
No, they're
But
dark.
she like does wear a dark green dress, and he's like, "Hey, cool dress," and she's like, "Yeah, it's the same color as your bedroom."
I think they were trying.
Yeah,
but it's just not the same.
No hate to Lucy Hale, but like cast not just the blue eyes. Like there are 1,000 women that have blue eyes that are in like the general area of the studio you're shooting in.
It was just one of the. It's like the punchline of the book.
Like that. That's the book.
It should prove that you've loved me. And he's like, I've loved you for so long, and it was just such a gorgeous, effortless. So darling, almost cheesy. It was so sweet.
So sweet.
And so to have a movie that we don't do that is just, y'all can skip the movie.
Yeah.
Because this was just too angelic for words.
All right, page 361. He's pressing his mouth to my skin and sighing, breathing like I'm a dream he never wants to wake from. He's breathing me in like he's a filthy addict. He's talking about how badly he wants to go to the freaking strawberry place, which I wish he could have gone. It's really sweet.
Super cute.
You sure do love strawberries. I love you, Lucy Hutton, so much you have no idea. Please be my best friend.
Stop.
I'm so ridiculously in love, I decide to try it out loud. I'm in love with Joshua Templeman. His reply is a whisper in my ear. Finally. Like, it makes you want to cry. Like,
yes,
that's the last page of the book. Like, that's the end.
And he's already gotten another job.
Yeah.
Because he wants for her dreams to come true. It's
delicious. It's sweet.
An incredible MMC.
It made me happy.
Yes! This just makes you happy.
It made me happy.
It's like there's so much that is sad and hard about this world. This kind of thing, so good.
There is like
No notes.
Someone just like loving the color of your eyes.
Oh my
is
God.
so romantic. Like they just are like, I really want to look at you because I want to stare at your eyeballs.
I want to think about the color of your eyes. I want this
I
color
want to open
everywhere.
my eyes and see your eyes.
I want to go to bed at night. The last thing I see being the color of your eyes.
Yes.
Because I don't have you. We're not together because you want to be with a nice guy. You don't want to be with me, but I can have as much of you around me as
like
possible.
I'm trying my best. Like he wears the robin's egg blue shirt on Fridays.
Ugh.
Like it's so
Verklempt.
yummy. Yummy.
So yummy. Yes. This is like just a delicious. I cannot wait to read more Sally Thorne because I have high hopes that if this is how she writes, this is my jam. I agree with you on we could have used a little more description. I do think that my imagination fills in more than I thought. My imagination is like, yeah, no, I've got that. I've got that one.
We figured that one out.
I see where that goes.
Yeah, and I did read you like the most descriptive parts of that scene.
Yeah.
Like the most of it is like very like it really is like reading poetry. It's so beautifully like descriptive, and
It's
we're talking
romance.
like we're bringing in metaphors like and the scene where they're driving back, that dreamy scene, like that's kind of what it feels like. It's just like
Yes, it feels like that.
it's dreamy. It's dreamy.
Which, as a self-identified ENFP,
Oh no.
is this an ENFP book? I think it is. Folks. This is a lovey, hilarious. Just, I'm in.
It's a romantic comedy.
It's a rom-com, and it infuriates me to the day I die now that there is a rom-com about this romantic comedy, and
It's terrible.
doesn't live up to the doesn't well
It's not good.
maybe we need for Laura Dern or some like female
Yes.
producer director Greta Gerwig.
Greta
Oh my god, well this would be a banger. Greta Gerwig did it.
she would
Are you kidding?
she would flush this out.
She sure would. This would be quite the epic tale.
That's right.
But yeah,
All right. Okay. So our MMC, Dr. Joshua Templeman,
I mean, green flags all around.
green flags, head to toe. He falls first.
Here's the thing. This is how I want an MMC. I don't want morally gray necessarily. I'm into this. I don't want to have to justify his behavior.
I like it all. I contain multitudes.
That's a good point. It kind of depends.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed this. I'm like, no, like.
But I mean, he
you
had
think
some,
he
like-
should? This is a Mr. Darcy effect.
Yeah. I mean, he had some like guard dog possessive kind of energy, which like.
Only enhanced.
Yeah, like some kind of like alpha energy that we don't always love. But
Sure.
he did it in a hot way.
He did it in a hot way.
You can come back and tell me that nobody kisses you like I do.
Well, that was hot. Possessive. Hot.
And he's like, say it.
I don't know. I don't have a
Like,
problem with any of this.
look me up. Say the words. Say it. Use your words and say it to me.
I'm not complaining.
I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah, he was fantastic. I think five stars, 5 chili peppers. What were your thoughts on Lucy?
I love her. I think she's great. She's a badass. Has trouble saying no. So relatable.
But like,
And then he empowers her
yeah,
to say, like, teaches her how, and like, here's how you can stand your ground and say no. Practice on
because
me.
he actually like cares for her.
Yes.
He's like, hey, you let people push you around at work. Here, be shitty to this person.
Yes.
Or set a boundary, basically.
Yeah.
In her reputation era.
I mean, she's 5 for me. I am a sucker for like a literary girly. I
Yeah.
think it's relatable.
It's relatable. She's a girly just like us, and I think that she was a dreamy, fun. I was never angry at her.
Oh yeah, never.
I thought that it was adorable how she was such a little worm.
She's just a little worm.
Delulu, thinking that
Tiny
Josh couldn't
5 foot
possibly
little
love
baby.
her. Yes, very cute. Streets and Sheets. I think it was pretty solid.
Yeah. Okay, spice level. It's probably a 2 on like the chili pepper scale.
That's a great. You're totally right.
It's not spicy.
Better than yours truly.
Better than yours truly. Yeah. So if yours truly is a 0,
we have read romance that has just been like closed door, like alluding to sex. That made me want to claw my eyes out. But this, like, there is actual, the foreplay is super hot.
The foreplay is so good.
We're actually talking about, like, actual sex.
Nobody's fighting after we have sex.
There's actual, like, smut. It just, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and like we've said before, like, do the plot and the smut cancel each other out? And in this case, no, they don't. Because
good point.
The foreplay and all that stuff, that's all part of the plot. And
she does a very intentional job of making all of the story leading up just be all foreplay.
Yes.
It's very hot.
Right. So I think, like, in terms of plot, like, this is, for me, the plot, 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
The Spice,
this is a great plot.
2 out of 5, which is why we threw it at 4 stars on Goodreads.
That feels safe.
Yeah.
That feels healthy.
I think it's sweet. I love the plot. I love the characters. And if this had, like, an Allie Hazelwood sex scene in it,
exactly.
This would be a 5-star book.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah, like can you imagine, like, a Brendan Fraser, like a Tessa Bailey, like on the kitchen table kind of situation,
eating out on the kitchen table?
Like, I just
even like something like that. That's not even penetrative sex, but like something like that.
Like, it could have been a little filthier,
a little dirty, just a little. It could have
been a little, because we know that was part of it. It's like Joshua could do that.
Oh yeah, so she's like, I know it's gonna be fucking filthy.
Yeah,
like he's gonna boss me around. He's gonna tell me what to do, and he's gonna like hold off when I'm being bad and like give it to me when I'm.
But it was all from Lucy's perspective.
Yeah,
and
true.
This is how Lucy
perceives him,
experiences the world, is through a flowery.
He's domineering and direct, and this is how he must be in the bedroom.
But it would be really fun to have like a, I don't know, 10th anniversary version where it's like describes the sex from his perspective,
or like a book from his perspective.
Would
I would eat up.
Yeah, with a spoon.
Eat it up.
An excellent work of romantic smutty fiction.
Yeah. Well, that was The Hating Game by Sally Thorne.
Adorable.
Please let us know what you thought of this book. Did you love it? Did you not love it?
Did you hate it?
Did you think the sex scene was delicious? Did you think it needed more? Tell us all your thoughts, how you're feeling about it.
Do you want only closed door romance? And if so, why are you?
Do you like the Smut Club? Or
welcome to our podcast. We're glad you're here.
We don't do closed door romance if we can avoid it.
We try really hard to not indulge in a closed door moment, but
so the next book we are reading might be undetermined.
TBD.
Yeah.
We are going to let y'all know as soon as we know.
Yes.
We are going to keep you in the loop because we know that some of our listeners really enjoy reading along with us.
Yes.
And we are definitely going to be reading along to the lyrics of the Torture Poets Department.
For sure, for sure.
So we are going to be all into. Sorry, we've got a golden doodle's butthole just right in our faces. Just tail up, curly tail up. There we go. We're setting her free.
Yeah, I know we've been bragging about like we've got a calendar, we plan this all out, but alas, Anna does not like a plan.
Anna is on this podcast. No, we are going to come up with a plan.
Yeah, we're gonna enhance some stuff. Mostly just to like keep you on the loop. We have difficulty finding joy in doing this when we don't enjoy the books that we're reading.
Yeah.
So we read a couple in a what row where we're not loving it, not having a good time,
and it makes it so unfun.
Yeah, and it makes it hard to like be excited to record. This is not anybody else's fault but ours.
And I think like, I mean, you know, we go back through and listen to the podcast, and we enjoy listening to the episodes where we liked the book.
Like, the episodes where you can tell where we're smiling the whole time, like, that's the ones where I'm like, this is why this episode has so many listens.
That resonates.
Because
that
people are
so good.
People don't want to hear us complain, and we get that.
Yeah, they don't. And that's the interesting thing, is this is like a book review pod, a critique podcast, but mostly... it's smut.
Yeah,
and so people don't want heavy...
We can critique a book and still enjoy it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we are working on developing a list of books that we're actually interested in reading.
But it's tough when we haven't read the books yet.
Yeah.
So we're gonna dig into that.
So yeah, just stay on socials, and we'll let you know what we're reading. Even if it is, you just find out the day of, and whatever. The episodes are banked, y'all.
It's always a good time in the Smut Club.
That's right.
As the weather warms up, new Taylor albums are dropping. Mm-hmm. Smut is smutting.
Smut be smutting. All right. thank you all so much for listening. As always, you can follow us on socials at Smut is Better with Friends. You can send us your thoughts, feelings, comments, suggestions to smutisbetterwithfriends@gmail.com. If you like this podcast, you can leave us a review wherever you listen. And share it with your friends. Word of mouth is super important.
Yes.
These episodes are for anyone and everyone who enjoys.
Smut is always better with friends.
Smut is better with friends.
Yes.
And you know what? You don't have to read these books. Like, we walk you through the plot. We talk about it. Like, if you just want to listen to two girls chatting,
seriously,
this is the place for you. We got a lot to say about a lot of different things.
Low stakes plots, high quality
chatting. All right, y'all. Thank you for listening. And until next time, what is my favorite color? It's bedroom blue.
Bedroom blue.
Bye.
Bye.